what I'm going to do is I'm going to invite, and so just notice how we did this correctly, where Benjamin asked, I asked him back, we asked the group. We're going to do a short sacral session to go into the example. What I'd like to do is have somebody volunteer to watch Ben's face. Who'd like to watch Ben's face and just make note of what it is that his eye, yeah, Dylan, you okay with that? Okay, so grab a pen or a piece of paper or a piece of paper. Watch his eyes and just notice which way the eyes went. Up, down, left side. You know, the small, just watch the face as I read, because I'm going to be reading. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you guys all of this. Share. I'm going to give you the link. So I'm not going to let you, or I'm not going to have you see me or this, not me. So I'll show you exactly what I'm doing. Hang on a second. So here in the chat, everyone, you have a link to the Dropbox, the sacral session you can download. And I'm going to stop sharing my screen. That's my point, is I don't want us to share the screen. And instead of doing speaker view, I need to change this a little bit so that it's just me highlighting. I'm going to spotlight Ben's video. So there's Ben. Okay, when you're done chewing, we will start. And so now we can, everybody see how Ben's video is big. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're on the spotlight. So now you have the questions. And so go ahead, keep chewing. I'm going to explain this. So one person is going to be the person responding. That's Ben. So you're going to be comfortable, you're relaxed in a sitting position. Make sure both your feet are flat on the ground, grounded. Mm-hmm. You're going to want to take some deep breaths. Do you feel relaxed? Mm-hmm. And there's no action sessions, right? You know that your jaw is completely relaxed. Just like place your attention on your gut area. What I like to invite people to do is put one hand below the belly button, right above the pubic bone. And the other hand, if you want to, you can put it on your lower sacral. So both your hands are on that area of focus. So you're going to, you personally, don't go into judgment mode, but just go into the reaction of your body when you're asked the questions, okay? Okay, so I'm just gonna be listening to, let me get a pen too. I'm just gonna be listening to your voice, Ben. I'm not looking at your face since I'm reading the questions. Dylan's gonna be in charge of reading the face. Okay, so you're just gonna, Dylan, note what questions he looked someplace different, or you saw the expression of the face trying to figure things out. Okay, so for those of us who are asking the questions, that's me, person B. I'm gonna ask the questions on this handout. It's yes or no questions only. So right now, I'm not playing the dual role of observing, I'm just listening. Dylan is doing the observer. So without judgment, let's, all of everybody that's watching, let's see if we can feel where the answers are coming from. Do we feel it coming from down in the sacral, or is it coming from a mental space? And notice if you can tell the difference, okay? No judgments about yes, no, good, bad, right, wrong. Okay, so just mind or gut. Is it mind or gut? Okay, so you could write that down, mind or gut. So, and then at the end, we're gonna see if Ben wants our feedback. So these are the warm-up questions. Ready, Ben? Yeah, okay. Do you like ice cream? Is blue your favorite color? Do you live in America? Do you own a car? Do you like to watch TV? Do you like Chinese food? Do you speak English? Do you have a pet? Do you like flowers? Do you like chocolate? Do you have brown hair? Do you trust your sacral response? So would you like to answer some questions about living conditions? Do you want to answer some questions about your love relationship? Okay, go up to that. So love relationship. Ben, do you want clarity about your love relationship? Ben, do you need clarity about your love relationship? Do you get what you need in your relationship? Are you content in your relationship? Is it okay to be discontent in your relationship? Is your partner your friend? Is your partner your lover? Is it important for you to be in relationship? Do you want to improve your relationship? Do you need to improve your relationship?
Mm-hmm.
Can you accept your relationship the way it is?
Yeah. Mm.
Do you spend enough time together with your partner?
Mm.
Do you need to spend more time with your partner?
Mm-hmm.
Do you need to spend less time with your partner?
Mm.
Do you feel emotionally satisfied in your relationship?
Mm.
Do you feel mentally satisfied with your relationship?
Mm.
Do you feel spiritually satisfied with your relationship?
Mm.
Do you feel physically satisfied with your relationship?
Mm-hmm.
Do you need challenge in your relationship?
Mm.
Do you feel your partner cares about your feelings?
Mm.
Does your partner respect you?
Mm.
Do you and your partner have enough sex?
Mm.
Would you like your relationship to be more playful?
Mm-hmm.
Would you like your relationship to be more romantic?
Mm. Mm-hmm.
Does your relationship nurture you?
Mm.
Do you want to explore this subject more deeply?
Mm-hmm.
Ben, are you a romantic?
Mm-hmm.
Ben, do you like to be given flowers?
No.
Ben, do you like to give flowers?
What?
Do you like romantic walks on the beach?
Mm-hmm.
Do you like walking through the woods together hand in hand?
Mm-hmm.
Is that something that you would like to do more often?
Mm-hmm.
Can you do it where you live?
Mm.
Okay. So what I just did was started to transfer him into the location by linking it to what's going on with the relationship. So I think that's enough for now. Is it okay if we pause now and discuss a little bit, Ben?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So how was that for you guys who were watching? Did you notice some things watching the face? Dylan, would you like to report back to us? Can we see what Dylan has to offer?
Well, that went really fast, so I was able to take down some of the questions, like little notes. But what I noticed mainly was that, especially in those beginning questions, the yeses, his eyebrows went up. There was a smile forming, and then for the nose, the straight nose, like very little facial expression, and then maybe even like kind of just cheeks, like you could see it in his face. And then for like the more important questions, it was almost like the yeses, to me, like it looked like the yeses that were kind of like just on the edge of being a yes were just kind of like, mm-hmm. But like, are you romantic? Uh-huh. Like a big smile,
Yeah.
eyebrows up. So there was, on, do you want more playful relationship, more romantic? I noticed that, does your partner respect you? That was, I really got a negative emotions in the face.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, kind of like, it's tough to like mark which specific questions, because I don't know. Like, I'll know better how to do this next time, but I could really see there wasn't actually a lot of eye movement, I noticed. Okay. But until there was one question where you kind of laughed and turned away, and like, so there's that part. But yeah, I could really see it in your eyebrows and your facial expression, like without a doubt. It's kind of, that's really cool to like see that, witness that.
Right. Notice the face. And Ben's looking for his soulmate. We know that all sixes, soulmate or not. So, and he's got individual circuitry, which is deeply romantic, deeply passionate, deeply expressive. Yeah, because strong individual. And he's open emotionally. So of course the desire wave is going to be caught up in and want that, yummy, romantic, expressive kind of feel good emotional experience. Would it be okay if we go into anybody else that wants to share what you noticed about Ben's experience, this little sample here? If there's any questions you want to ask Ben, anything different? Tamara.
I just want to ask you first, is it also just his face, or I got some sensation in my belly and the chest at a certain question? So is that projection, or is it?
It may be, but what tends to happen when you're really connected to somebody, you will feel their response in your body. you guys notice that? I feel it through sound. I'm a very sensitive to sound person. So I knew I could just not look and still get some stuff. But what happens for us, whether we're defined or undefined, you have all of this openness to where Ben's defined. So you might also feel stuff inside of you, because remember, particularly when you're in aura, you're connected. You will feel things. Some of us will feel more than others. So you're going to be able to sensation stuff in your body, and you're going to see him. Did anybody notice him moving back and forth, like forward and back? That's response. You know, I'm being dramatic, but that's another thing. Face light up, that's a response. No response is right. And notice that it wasn't a like we do in the States. It was a very short, right? It wasn't really articulated deeply or heavily. Funny, the big no thing. Dylan was saying, I noticed that in person with my mom while observing, I was locked in my ashna. Yeah, because you're amplifying whatever she's got going on with her.
That came out wrong. When I did it with my mom, I can feel, because I was observing in my own body to see what her questions were like. But because in this situation, I was looking at, I was just caught up in my mind, so I wasn't paying attention to how I was feeling when. But I definitely do. Yeah.
I hear you. Oh, yeah. You can, when you're with a sacral being, their sacral response reverberates inside of your body. Yeah. And if you're sensitive to it, you're open, you're even more taking it in and amplifying and feeling it. So one awake sacral generator, Ra would say, can toll like a great bell that affects people for miles. One sacral generator. Because it's like that bell. I don't know if you guys know the Tibetan bell that just tolls and you can hear it. You can feel it. It is a strong, powerful draw. Which one brought you to tears, Jazz?
What I felt through his responses was a deep acknowledgement of him recognizing something, perhaps, that doesn't hurt. It doesn't feel good in the mind, and it really hurt, and it was sad. And I felt it, and it was the progression of that, the questions that you went into, and I feel like it was very, very, it was very impactful.
Yeah.
That's.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that, Jazz. And it's perfectly in alignment with what you would pick up on. The passion, the abundance, the spirit. This is your Venus values and relating. Is this person feeling supported by this relationship? Didn't seem like it, right? Did you guys get that? Yeah, thank you again, Dylan, for helping too. And thank you, Ben, for offering, because it's really, really helpful to have the experience. Now, one of the things to recognize is that we as projectors don't necessarily have the energy to sustain that kind of long session, like all of this stuff all at once. So I would pick, if a sacral being is coming to you for something, maybe do just whatever is present and alive within them. I knew that relationships was a big one for him, but I just went down the list and went, do you want to answer questions about this? I just skipped the automobile. It's nothing important right now. What's really, we know what's alive for Ben is what's going on with this relationship. So hi. Now we have some stuff, some awareness perhaps to know about and talk about and discuss in a coaching session with him moving forward. So you would spend the next amount of time just helping him get in touch with how the body felt. Dylan, to help you not have to write things down during the session, you would just print this out and put a little star or mark, highlight something that you want to come back to. Yeah, and you could do it slower too. You don't have to, yeah, exactly. You could do it slower. You don't have to go quickly like I did. For an emotional generator, you might get them warmed up and you might talk to them for a while and you might land a question at some point that really speaks to the heart of whatever is going on with them. Rather than going through and doing all of those fast-paced questions, you would pick. And you might intuit. Do you see how at the end, I just kind of intuited a couple of things and asked some questions that whatever came to mind to see if I could get any more responses. So again, you don't have to go through the whole thing by yourself. When I did this in my second Living Your Design, I was doing it in person, and our teacher partnered us up in pairs, and I sat in front of the lady and our knees were touching, and that was it. Like, I could feel it right there. You know, she was a triple split sacral generator, but emotional too. And you could feel it in your body. So pay attention to those feelings and go into what you sense would be a right question in addition to whatever's on this sheet. This gets you started. It gets you warmed up. And then you can go into a few more if you want to. Does that make sense to everybody?
I have a question.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead, Dylan.
Yeah.
Did you say go ahead?
Yeah.
My question was just, that was such a beautiful example of the sacral sessions, just like from Laveena's part with being respectful about the questions, and then also getting to see like what that reaction looked like. You know, you could tell that you weren't lying about anything, that everything was coming from your body's intelligence. So my question is, if I look at the recording and take this clip, am I able to show it to my brother who's a generator? Like, this is for, you know, does anyone have a problem with that?
Yeah, let's make sure Ben's okay with
Yeah, 100%, Dylan. Really, I'm very comfortable with all my sacral response. That's something I already went through it, and I already know all those answers for myself. I know I'm like this. Yeah. And just like to add something, I had do you remember last year we had a session in Shasta in person. In one-to-one? Mm-hmm. That was really the huge life-changing, because Laveena, she asked me a couple of questions about like my work and my location, and if I wanted to move here to America, if I was feeling comfortable to move here. You know, it was a big yes for a lot of things. Like look where I am today. You know, I moved this year, January, in Shasta, and I started doing all the things that Laveena asked me in questions, and I knew it was the right things to do. So it's powerful, especially for us pure generator. If you trust your sacral, you know it's the right things to do, and you just go for it, and it works.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All you need to do is trust that response. Mm-hmm. You don't have to figure out how or why. Just trust the response.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Everything in right timing. Beautiful. Thank you for asking the question, Dylan. Thank you again, Ben, for offering to share that. Any other, the thing, Ben, is to wrap up with you. So we got everybody, for the most part, we got some feedback. Anything else that you'd like to share about the sacral session in and of itself? Did anything surprise you is the thing I wanted to ask for me personally. Anything surprise you about your responses? No?
No, I don't think so, because like most of the things you asked me I already know. No, I think yeah, it brings more clarity. So when we spoke about the relationship, I mostly like thought about my ex-partner Carolina, because like today I'm single, I'm not with her anymore, but I was just like thinking about this relationship I had with her, and yeah, everything just makes so much sense.
Yeah. So great to hear that. Now the last thing that I want to impart as a guidance thing is that you're not here to fix it for them. Do you see how I'm not trying to advise Ben on what to do? He just needs that awareness and getting in touch with his sacral response. Because if we try to impose upon him, well, I think you should do this, and why don't you do this? If I went into fix-it mode, of course, that would be wrong for me as a color 2. I'm a color 2, which is hope, not 5, which is guilt and fix-it. So we make sure that we respect their boundaries, particularly us projectors. We don't try to force our way in to subjects where they're not comfortable. And you'll be able to see on their face if they're not comfortable, if they're starting to waffle, if they start to cry, particularly open emotional people. Stop the session. You don't have to keep asking the questions. Give them some time to breathe. Just be there. Just listen. You don't have to soothe them. You just remember to help them. Can you breathe? If they start to close up and they start to shut down, you can see them frozen. ask them, can you take a deep breath with me? And we take a deep breath together and we let it go. And that can help soothe some of the fears, the anxiety, confusion, the emotions that come up, and allow them to just be with that moment. And then you might say, can you share with me what you're feeling right now? And they're going to go up into reasons. And you might go, it's not about the reasons. What I'd like to know is, what are you feeling in your body right now? I'm feeling betrayed. Betrayed is not a feeling. What is your body telling you right now? I feel sad. Okay, let's go into that sadness. If that sadness had a color, what color would it be? Blue? Okay, there's this big blue that's wrapped all around you. Allow that blue to sink into your bones, to feel that heaviness. You might feel heavy. Let's feel that sadness together. I know what it's like to feel like your relationship is on the rocks and you don't know what to do about it. So let's feel that sadness. Let's go into it. Let's allow that sadness to be present. Because most times, particularly this, even those who are defined, they do not let themselves have time to feel. And feeling is where we heal it. Just in the feeling itself, allowing that feeling to express, it starts to become lighter. It moves. The energy moves if you feel it. I can't stress how important this is, to let yourself go into the feeling and you're not in fix-it mode. Okay? If something like that happened, if you start to deal with emotions, and now those of you who are, let's say, undefined emotions, where we have undefined, we don't have very many undefined Jazz. You see how Jazz started to feel stuff? Is she still here? She really, yeah, she's here. So Jazz actually really felt, it touched her, it moved her to tears because she was feeling what that feeling was like for Ben. She was feeling touched emotionally. So if you're the one that's open emotionally, remember what you can do is stand there to help them confront that emotion. Confront being standing together to face the emotion, not run away from it. And how do you do that? You breathe and you allow. Imagine yourself as an open window. Last night I had a client call me. That's a long-term client, 6 months, coaching every week. We take a week off every month, but she came with immense sadness and longing and just, that place where you can't talk barely. I could barely understand her in the beginning. And I remember feeling all of this emotion inside my body, the crying, the tears. And she was like, I'm sorry, I'm crying. You have to make it okay for them to emote, to feel. So in order to do that, you go to that place with them and you don't do the pity party or right, wrong, good, bad. You just be present. And all of you can do this. You just be present with what is. Don't analyze. Get into the body and feel it with them. That's my way anyway. The tears started to pour out of my face too, because I could recognize her feelings. Recognition channel of focused energy, design of recognition of feelings. This is what we call holding space. Yes, hold that space and don't let them run away. What will happen is if they're getting in a really emotional state, and those who are undefined emotionally could get really emotional. They get in an emotional state, holding that space, allowing it to flow, will let that, it's like sunshine after a storm. The rain comes, the rain goes, and then the sun breaks through. We allow that movement of energy, and that is what is stuck, is the trauma of whatever happens to them. Let's say, Ben, as a child, you were rejected by your mother, father, anybody, family. And now this other rejection from this lover feels like that same wounding. So going into the wounding pattern, the holding pattern of, I can't feel it, it's scary. Whenever I feel things, people want me to fix it, make it better. So I start to apologize. My client started to apologize. I said, no, honey, you be whatever you need to be in this moment. I'm right here with you. Just saying I'm right here with you can help somebody so much. Dylan is asking a question, Ben. Let's see. Ben, how does this sacral authority play out in your life? Do you record sacral sessions for yourself? Do you have someone else ask you questions, or do you just respond in the moment now? Curious how you've used this. So what's your work with it so far, Ben?
Thanks, Dylan, for asking. So really good questions. So when I'm completely all over the place, Well, I usually hit Laveena and I'm like, oh, I need questions. Like last time before going to Sedona. But or otherwise is it works really in the now. It's really, really right here, right now. And when my sacral say yes, I just go for it and I do it. I usually don't try to figure it out like all the way long for my day. I usually don't try to plan my whole day or my whole weeks, or no, because I know it's pointless. I'm so inconsistent. I'm going to respond to whatever comes to me. So I just try to have a good answer, like a good direction in the now that brings me satisfaction. And then I'm like, well, I would see something else will come to me and I will just respond to these new things. And sometimes, yeah, when I feel stuck, when I feel like I'm really, really stuck, it's like frustration starts to arrive based on mental decision. If I have no one around me, I cannot ask, hey, can you ask me a question? But we need to have someone we truly trust. It's very, very important for me, like to have a friend around me and I can say, hey, I feel stuck right now. I need questions. Can you just help me to get out of this frustration? Mm-hmm. So I have Cheryl, my friend Cheryl, who is a projector 6'2", so we speak a lot. Mm-hmm. And otherwise, I just grab my phone and I record myself and I ask myself the questions and I leave the phone for 10, 15 minutes and then I grab the phone and I just listen. It's not so good at having someone who asks questions because most of the question may be going to be based on a mental decision. So it may be not so good, but at least it helped me to respond to it. And I really leave my phone for like 10 minutes, 15 minutes. So when I listen myself just talking, I'm kind of like surprised of the question I just asked myself. So this is how I do on a daily basis.
Excellent.
Mm-hmm.
Great question, Dylan. Thank you for answering, Ben.
Thanks, Ben.
Yeah. So any last questions about sacral authority that you guys have, or you can see on the slide?
I still have one.
Yeah, sure.
Time. It's the sacral is such a beautiful thing. How can that be implemented in someone's life in design if they're emotional?
Okay, so that's a good question. Let's go to, I actually wanted to go to Raquel after that, this experience, because we were talking about the emotional center, and you can see that Raquel's got the aspect of sacral defined to the throat. So she's always getting some kind of sacral response. There's either a response or not, right? But the authority happens to be emotional. So I'm wondering, Raquel, if you would like to express your experience of what it's like to be asked sacral questions, anything that you'd like to share on what it's like for you?
So I did a session with Veronica, Victoria, same person, last fall, and initially she asked me some very simple questions and my body actually moved forward or flung back in response to what she asked. But as the questions got a little bit more, they were yes, no questions, but they were a little bit more things that I needed to process through, if that makes sense. I can give you an example when I'm done saying this. Mm-hmm. I started not to get that response and I actually got confused. Mm-hmm. And specifically one question she asked, and this is when I was in cartography the first time, so it was the last fall cartography. Mm-hmm. I was very new into human design, just a handful of months at that point. And she asked me if I wanted to go back to school. And then she asked me if I wanted to study. And she asked me if I wanted to, something about being an analyst or something. Mm-hmm. And I just was like deer in the headlights. I couldn't answer because I couldn't answer. My body didn't respond. And now if I look at it retrospectively, that's a process. That's something that I'd have to be emotionally okay with over time. Mm-hmm. It's not something I could just respond to immediately. It's not. So, but my question a few minutes ago was, and I probably already know the answer, but when you were talking about touching knee to knee with somebody and a projector feeling it. Mm-hmm. Would you be able to get more
data?
Well, I was going to say more truthful answers for an emotional being, but then there's that time piece. So
exactly,
you don't have that time. So I guess it, depending on where you are in your wave, is going to be the answer you get at that time, and that's not true. It may or may not be true.
Exactly.
You know, even in a few minutes, it may or may not be true, let alone a couple of days or weeks or, you know, so.
Yeah.
I am quite envious of people that don't have the emotional system and have the generator piece. It's gosh.
To have that pure response in the now.
I've said it before. I am just so envious of that.
Yeah.
Because I got the power. I've got it. But I gotta wait.
Yep. Yeah, it's kind of like a governor where you cannot trust that first initial response. So one of the things I'd like to offer, if that's okay, especially Dylan, is, and anybody that's learning about this, when you have a center that's undefined here, and we know that the ego is about willpower and needs and wants, be very careful with the languaging of asking a person, what do you want? If you need them to do something, or you recognize that they need to do something based on what their emotions are telling you over time. As an example, my client, she's 4 months into a 6-month coaching program. So I am getting to know her really well and recognize what she really needs. And so instead of doing a sacral session, I land particular questions and I say, can you see how? It's speaking to her design. Can you feel how? Can you sense this? Can you do this? So it's a can or could you, rather than do you want to? Because the want goes into, well, do I want to? Especially if it's undefined. Oh, where there's this and that, and what does it mean, and where's it going? So we can ask Ben want, because what's going on here is it's all connected. But I would be very careful with the wants and needs, because that's not his authority channel. His authority channel happens to be this. So you might say, is it in the flow of your life to go do this now? Ben, can you come to Sedona? You know, can you go there? Can you do this? Could you do that? Because the can and could accesses the sacral. Make sense?
Yeah, the want is already, as soon as, you know, can you come to Sedona? It's already in that process of answering is, do I want to go to Sedona? And without even thinking about it, the body has that already locked down. And it also sounds like for the Raquel question or what I asked about emotional sacral, it seems like the biggest thing that you could gain from the sacral session is that anywhere you have or you can't answer it, or you have a nervous tension in your body, it's like that needs time. So you can use the questions to actually figure out what you're clear about. It's just a clear yes or no, and what you actually need time to, ask again, or just contemplate, or just wait, whatever,
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. And I would love to ask something like, it's not because I say yes right now, it means it's a yes forever. And it's not because I say no right now, it means it's a no forever. Just mean like right now, I don't have energy for this, or I do have energy for this. A lot of people, sometimes they can just be pissed with me, or they're like, oh, you change your mind, or we cannot trust you, count on you. Well, dude, you asked me something this morning. I say yes, because I had the energy right now. And now this is 8 p.m. I just don't want to do it anymore. I just don't have energy for it. So I think one of the most important things when you talk to a generator, you don't really talk to the person. Like when you talk to me or ask me a question, you don't really speak to Benjamin. You mostly speak to the sacral, because that's the one who is in charge. So if I say no, it's not like me saying no to you. It's just my sacral say, oh no, I don't have energy. So learning on how to not take things personally, that was a big thing for me as well, especially when I was talking with generators. Hope it helps. Yeah.
Yeah. And I love the way that you described that, Ben, because you're not talking with me, personality identified with conscious thinking mind. You're talking with my sacral. That's a totally different thing. You know? Yeah. So you can see, where's the other 15? This is 15 here, this part of the sacral. Yeah, the extremist part. But this is this stuff that's attached here is unconscious. So that's what's making the decision. Not me, my thoughts me, or my emotions me. It's this. Do I have energy for it or not? Yeah. Raquel says she loves that. It is beautiful. Thank you for sharing, Ben, and thank you everyone for the conversation.